baptized in classic melodic memorabilia, and thus further drowning into the depths of despair. Two sides of the same coin. Let us fully examine them. Hello everyone, GBA049 here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Metroid Prime 2 Echoes in the Metroid Prime Marathon series, episode number 36. Got a little bit carried away, scanning a bunch of shit in the previous two episodes, but I really cannot help myself. I'm definitely that infomat type of person when it comes to examining the details of my favorite games, and I'm doing everything, and I'm doing the best I can to just go, at least try to go in depth on what makes a bunch of my the aspects that I genuinely admire to be my favorite. So one thing I'd like to talk about more of in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes is how it perfects the enemy design based on how they function, and also how much it improves on an already existing format in Metroid Prime. And when they carry that over to Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, they just give it all kinds of improvements, and it's just like, wow. It's absolutely incredible. The stuff of legends, to be sure. Except for the Blogling, because in the original game, the Blogling is a little bit bugged, and you can't kill it normally. They fixed that in the trilogy, thankfully, but not in here. Say hello to the Blogling. Youthful, aggressive blog. Violent infant creature will use a ram attack if provoked. They never do. Young blog are weaker than their parents, but still violent. Their powerful jaws have yet to form, and they lack the defense abilities found in adult blog. They must rely on speed and agility for protection if attacked without the protection of their elders. Very interesting design enemy compared to the blog, because you don't really see it as anything significant than that the blogs already possess. They're not intimidating. They just look very docile and dormant. But when you attack them, okay, so now they actually attack you. That wasn't normally the case. That's not normally the case in the original game of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, because while they're seen clearly swimming away, trying to avoid a fight altogether, sometimes they're completely invulnerable, and you have to wait a while before you can actually hit them, which is very weird. Anyway, going back where we came here for, gonna use my left hand for this because I'm holding onto the Y button. There we go. Hold on to this here. Aim it just right. It's probably gonna go mess up. Nope, I got it. There we go. Missile expansion. Before I go to the detail on and go into a bunch of depth describing on how Metroid Prime 2 Echoes perfects enemy design, our nemesis is right amongst us. Just back with a vengeance after its crushing defeat back on Aegon Wastes. There it is, just taunting us. Very fun and unsettling fact about Dark Samus. The sound clip of Dark Samus's laughter is, believe it or not, cut audio of Samus's grunting noises, like grunting and pain noises, heavily altered and distorted. So, in that sense, Samus's pain is Dark Samus's pleasure. And that's pretty freaking deep the more that you think about it. Object analysis complete. Statue is a functional motivator unit currently offline. Bomb slot detected in statue. Energize the bomb slot to bring statue's movement system online. While that's going on, I'm just gonna go scan this spinner that's not active. Enemy threat override in effect. Secure the area to restore function to device. What's so pure genius about the blog enemies in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes? You're supposed to lure the enemy to you until it reveals their weak point directly into their mouths, which is extremely brutal the more that you think about it, because whenever you see a gigantic shark-like alien creature swimming underwater in any point of time of where you can't freely move in it, you're okay. Normally you would want to like run. You have to like go as far away from them as possible, because they're basically the apex predator of the underwater environment. So the genius factor behind that is that since the weak point is directly into their mouths, you're supposed to deliberately provoke it in order to actually, deal with them. Which I don't think, Metroid enemies do that quite often. Like it's very uncommon behavior for Metroid enemy design to like function like that, and that's pure freaking genius. You're basically like supposed to like provoke the danger and just tell them that you are the danger. I'm not afraid of you. Like come on over here and give me your best shot. You don't stand a chance. You just piss it off, and then right when it's about to bite you, just shoot a missile straight directly into its mouth, and it just gets obliterated into a bunch of chunky, bloody pieces, which is incredulously satisfying every single time. Recovering energy. We were not prepared to fight a long war. The forces of the enemy outnumbered ours vastly. We sought a way to end the war quickly, without extended combat. We decided to build a device to recover our lost planetary energy from Dark Aether. Without this energy, the Dark World would cease to be, and our world would be restored to stability. Little did they know, the enemy outsmarted the enemy. Had a very incredulous trick up its sleeve. By just having that having that said foolproof plan, just to go completely against them. When that happens, their own plan was just being used against them, and the Luminoth were just slowly reaching into inevitable crushing defeat. Until you arrived, just in time. Okay. I'm gonna go inside here. I completely forgot to scan that the little morph ball hologram, but that means absolutely nothing to me. Okay, so provided like enough detail about what makes the blog unique as far as ingenious enemy design is concerned. More of it remains from the Grenchlers. I know I talked about. Let me just like scan this real quick. The new terror. In time, the Yang began to possess the Luminoth as well as creatures. Oh my god, I absolutely hate reading this piece of dialogue right here. This sentence is just extremely, sorrowful. It's just heartrending, like every single time when I read it. Friends and family members became the enemy, spilling Luminoth blood across the land. Oh my god. I can't imagine that. I really cannot imagine that. Is that the word to speak out everything for you? It's just so lifeless. Very sad. Like inexplainably sad. Just to have to do that with no other choice on you. Desperate, we devised shielding to prevent ing possession. It was effective, but not perfect. Should the shielding fail, all Luminoth were prepared to self-terminate rather than become a weapon for the ing. That's easily got to be the worst part about the lore of Aether and the Luminoth. Easily. Nothing else comes close. Of how soulless the ing really are in nature. And how unfortunate they were to have that curse, like, afflicted upon them. It's just 1,000 words spoken instantaneously. Right along in tandem with the enemy design in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, the progression system also follows along accordingly to eventually lead up into boss fights of its own. Because in our next boss fight, we are going to fight a powered-up Grenchler that has absorbed the power of our grapple beam. And I must say, out of every single sub-guardian in the entire game, the Grapple Guardian is the one that is, the best. Like, bar none, the Grapple Guardian is the best sub-guardian in the entire game, and literally nothing else comes close. And I am so freaking excited to, like, provide all the details on why it is, factually speaking, because really, nothing else comes close. Jump Guardian, no. Boost Guardian, no. Spider Guardian, it's unique because it's all in Morph Ball, but no. And a bunch of other things like the Bomb Guardian, everything else. Power Bomb Guardian, absolutely not. This is the sub-guardian that has the most depth to it, more than any other like sub-guardian boss in the game, and it really shows. All right. G6 Testament. What craven savages are the ing, trapped in the catacombs with no chance of rescue. I fought them to the last. I watched them feed upon their dead. I heard them pressing the lesser of their number into the front ranks, that my blast would take them. At least their leader stood against me in battle. He was a foe worthy of a Luminoth warrior. If only if I was there to see it. If only everyone else was there to see it, to record your data. But no. The only data that was recorded was your final words until you breathe your last. No, and the more I think about it, the music of the Red Soil remix goes in tandem with reading the lore in the subterranean area of Torvus Bog pretty nicely. Both relaxing, but also heavy. Very heavy feeling altogether. That Blogling was extremely lucky. I thought for sure he was actually going to go get killed by that by the moving platform there, but no. Oh yeah, another weird thing that I don't think the Metroid Prime trilogy fixed is that the death animation for the Bridgedees, they just turn to dust when you kill them. Like gone, poof. They didn't exist to begin with. They don't have the death animation of an ordinary Splinter anymore. They're just gone. Never existed to begin with. Which is strange. Anyway, so I know that I was like in the heat of the moment when I was dealing with the Grenchlers in the Torvus Bog earlier, and I apologize for that because well, you're fighting two of them, and those things are extremely fucking ruthless if you're not careful when you're dealing with them, like on landlocked, terrain and whatnot. Well, not exactly landlocked, but in an area of where you barely have any maneuverability or room to like fight them in. and especially when you first encounter them, the very first instinct that you have is panic. Pure, raw, unfiltered panic when you see enemies like that. And I'm pretty sure that people felt the exact same way when they encountered the baby Sheegoths in Metroid Prime. But enough about that. Seed Burster. Seed Burster, exploding swarm of plant forms. Roaming pack of small volatile plants. Expel seeds with great force when agitated. Seed Bursters are moving plants, capable of traveling great distances in search of fertile soil to deposit their seeds in. When provoked by predators, the Seed Burster will explode, turning the precious seed inside into a deadly projectile. These seeds often do not live to fruition, but help protect the rest of the Seed Burster pack from attacks. Living, moving plants with legs. Very interesting enemy, I must say. And when they expel the seed, they die. They look like sentient, volatile cootie catchers in a way. Uh-oh. Please do not let this be. Please do not let this be the freaking dark blog encounter. I'm begging you. Then again, I'm just dealing with a bunch of bugged bloglings at the moment, or so I think. But anyway, all right. So about the Sheegoths, clearly, basically the juvenile apex predator of Phendrana Drifts being the Sheegoth. Clearly, the Sheegoth didn't really have that much to provide, a scale of threat. Because all that they could do was breathe ultra-frigid ice to freeze you, and tackling. They don't bite. They don't have anything else of significance, and they're extremely easy to take care of, especially in the original game. Then enter the Grenchler in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. It is like the Sheegoth with the same weaknesses and behavior, but oh my god, it is literally the baby Sheegoth, but transcended to absolute fucking perfection. Because it has what the baby Sheegoth doesn't: intelligence. Like, extremely terrifying, like, scale of intelligence unlike anything I've ever seen. They can jump, they can swim, they can attack you through small narrow passages, and they are, oh yeah, also they can bite. And when they bite, they have a very gigantic hitbox that can hit from behind you if you're not careful. Probably kind of disjointed, but they're malicious motherfuckers, and I absolutely love them. Object analysis complete. This is a concealed movement pad. Pad designed to confuse the ing. Shoot light crystal on lower surface to flip the pad over. Talk about desperate. Let me get rid of this blog here. Get rid of this app that get rid of this app that no one uses. Blogster, whatever. New weapons. Our studies of the Ing revealed the source of their attacks as dark energy. We built weapons to use this energy, thinking it could overload enemy targets and eliminate them. We soon learned our error, as the dark beam was not of great effect on the Ing. We then began to develop a weapon that used light energy. This weapon would dispatch the Ing with terrible efficiency. And that's the only thing that the light beam is, useful for, unfortunately. Structural analysis complete. Floor covering is composed of transparent densium. Attacks from the local creatures have weakened it considerably. What the hell was the blog doing? You want to get something off of its mouth? Something trapped and snared? I don't know. Flip that pad over. Do this one over here. Just got a tiny little puzzle to take care of over here. Over we just take a small detour to Dark Aether and continue on. Oh, right. Never mind. I just remembered. Our next boss isn't going to be the Grapple Guardian, it's the Alpha Blog. Kind of important because we really need to have some extra mobility underwater at this point in the game. As fun as it is to like have the natural weight of water just slow you down, I really like that. I genuinely really like that feeling in general because it's very natural. It's kind of like but it feels very relaxing to me, especially combined with the atmospheric music. Atmospheric music. It's very soothing. I don't know. It's just how I feel. I'm just gonna complete state of dimensional flux. Yeah, it's the same thing there. All right. Structural analysis complete. Luminoth laser emitter is online. Devices aimed at the spinner system. So I'm gonna turn this on. Activate a couple platforms here and there. Oh wait, no, not a platform. Let's open the pronged gate underwater so we can go to Dark Aether. For a brief moment, of course. Flip the other side of the coin. And enter the dark subterranean underworld of Torvus Bog. As long as you don't get ambushed by dark pirate commandos, we should be good. But just in case if I do, let's have the upper hand. Or not. Never mind. Okay. I can't see where you are. There we go. Got him. Alright, there's one pirate commando. There's one over here. Where are you going? Gotcha. There we go. Took care of him. Objects can complete. This barrier shield is indestructible. Find its control crystal and energize it to deactivate the barrier shield. Out of every Dark Aether ambient track in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, the Torvus Bog subterranean in Dark Aether is the one that gives me so many freaking chills. It is a very spine-chilling piece of ambience in this game that it really does feel like that you're deep underwater, like the dark. It really does feel like that you're submerged in the deep dark depths of the unknown parts of the ocean. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Kenji Yamamoto was going for, and he succeeded very well in that regard, for sure. Really does a lot for the fear factor as well, especially for what lies ahead too. The Alpha Blog and the Grapple Guardian. One of them is just a basically a test of basically like a combat test with the item you just get to actually deal with the damn thing. And the other is something extremely extraordinary. Like a reincarnated form of rectified enemy design from Metroid Prime. Enter the baby Sheegoth, where it only has the bare minimum set of attacks to oppose you. Same idea can go with the Sheegoth. Very intimidating size, and the appearance can give anyone nightmares. Designed to really catch you off guard based on its size and appearance. ultra-frigid beams of ice to ensnare you, absorbs your shots and shoots it right back at you, and can on occasion trample you by using its own sheer weight. And then when you get to the Grapple Guardian, it is like the Sheegoth, but I'm gonna be blunt about this, a complete fucking joke compared to the Sheegoth. I know I worded that improperly, but yeah, the Sheegoth is a complete fucking joke in comparison to the Grapple Guardian because it is everything that the Sheegoth wishes it could be in every way, shape, and form. Like, it's the presentation that really sells it for me, and I cannot fucking believe on how far they took it. Like, seriously, by the time when we eventually get to the fight with the Grapple Guardian, you will find out exactly what I mean of what makes that fight so memorable. By design. Like it legitimately feels like that the designer, Metroid Prime, of the designer of the Grapple Guardian deliberately intended to make the design of the Grapple Guardian and the concept of it be memorable from the very fucking beginning. How do you make a boss fight memorable? And how could you not call the Grapple Guardian boss fight memorable? If anyone on this planet ever just like calls the I don't know, Grapple Guardian forgettable or something like that, I know this is a threat that I'm never going to fulfill. I know this is a threat of a false promise that I'm never going to fulfill. I will absolutely destroy them. Just maybe it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go invade your dream. Is like, hey, what the hell are you thinking? How dare you call this boss so, forgettable when it's literally right there in front of you the entire time? Okay, I'm sorry if my bias is getting the better of me, but seriously, the Grapple Guardian is just really fucking good, plain and simple. And then there's the Alpha Blog. Is alright. Alpha Blog, immense blog pack leader. Enormous water dweller will fire sonic disruption blasts at foes. It has all strengths and weaknesses of its brethren. The Alpha Blog is the largest and strongest of its pack. It can fire potent sonic stun blasts in battle. The blast will disrupt your visor and weapon control systems if they hit you. Its 3 titanic maws are potent weapons. Target the creature's mouth areas to inflict damage upon it. Two aspects about the Metroid Prime 2 Echo's enemy design formula are currently underway. That would be the enemy design and the progression. First they present the juvenile, like the smallest form of the enemy that you first encounter. You understand how it works. You're supposed to shoot it directly into mouth and lure it to you. And then you see more of them as you progress. And while you're like progressing in your adventure, you then encounter a much larger form of the enemy that you fought before. And so this is where the intimidation factor comes into play, because it is just there, just beckoning you and awaiting you to eventually encounter it. And that's and the fact that it's like literally right in front of you the entire time while you're just delving into the depths of the subterranean caverns just really sells the aura that the Alpha Blog possesses. Just seeing it circling around in its own fucking, mockery of an aquarium tank. And the fact that you're currently in a state of vulnerability of where you haven't fully adapted to the underwater environment. Go further down in here, and then the unexpected occurs. The Alpha Blog is directly above you. You don't know when it's gonna go. You don't know when it's going to like. You have no idea when it's going to strike you. It's directly above you. You're in a gigantic arena that could easily fit it. Nowhere to go but forward. That's probably not that location. No, it is not. Oh yeah, also, you have no means of escape. You can't get out of here. You can only go through this door that gives you the gravity boost. This game's version of the gravity suit. Which is okay. Gravity boost. So when you grab that, you suddenly have the ability to freely move underwater. Like you would on land. And this makes you feel extremely powerful, and that you can take on anything now. Land creatures and water creatures are an absolute joke to you now. So now that you have this in your possession, I was like, okay, now I can, like, escape this place now that I have the gravity boost, right? Okay, so a little tutorial. Double jump, and then hold B to, like, hover in, like, and then like a double jump, and then hold B to, slowly ascend upward into the, and then to slowly hover upward. And then a cutscene plays over the door locks behind you, and that same creature that you saw earlier is now coming after you. This is your little test run. Now that you have the ability to move freely underwater, let's go test it out by throwing this motherfucker straight into your face. I'm going to be honest, there's one thing about the alpha blog that kind of bothers me a little bit, is that the duration of when it reveals its weak points is very specific, and the timing is just a little bit too small to the point where you actually have to get either A, lucky that it will open in time so you can actually damage it, or B, time it. Well, okay, okay, not exactly time it, but just, either A, get lucky, or just time it. It's never, it can never be like one thing. Okay, I've never had that. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Of course, since it is a light creature. What the fuck? What was that about? I've never actually seen the alpha blog do that before. Do that one more time. I'm curious. Alright, I'm gonna go get purposely hit by those, globules that it was firing at me. Maybe it's taunting me. Do it again, if you can. There we go. I thought I muted my phone. What the hell? Never mind. That's an animation I have never seen the alpha blog do before. Oh my god. Okay, fine. I guess it's just a one-time thing anyway. Yep, it is very weak to the dark beam. Even though it's a light creature, I'm gonna go try out what the light beam can do against it. Barely anything. Basically using fire underwater. Of course it wouldn't do anything. Oh my god. The problem is beginning to arise now. Okay. You literally have to tank the hit sometimes, which is ridiculous. Why does your mouth sometimes have to open, like, have to open, like, just when you're about to hit a wall? Yeah, here remains the issue. Oh my god. Got him. Whew. Yeah, that fight can go both ways. Either you get lucky or you don't. God forbid if you deal with that thing in hyper mode. It's certainly the most unique, it's certainly one of the most unique bosses in the game, considering it's literally the only underwater boss in the trilogy. But the fight itself honestly could have been done better. I really love the I really love how the fight progresses, and the presentation is really nice. But the fight can be bare bones and like, you know, bare bones at best and uncooperative at worst. Like, I really don't like it when bosses just refuse to cooperate when you're trying to get rid of them, especially when you're in the middle of a speed run. Like that's always a worst combination to deal with. But I still enjoy it for the presentation alone. It's and that's like you know, the you know, admirations I can, like, you know, adhere to. Anyway, now that we got the gravity boost, we can explore the rest of the underwater layer of Torvus Bog with nothing to stand in our way now. Not even dark blog. I just don't deal with dark blogs, seriously, just don't. It's a terrible idea. If you ever engage in dark blogs, don't. My best advice is that by the time you eventually encounter dark blogs in that one, like, excruciatingly small space to move around in room, don't. Just ignore them. It is not worth it. I've gotten a game over at max energy tanks by those damn things. Just trying to, like, oh yeah, take care of them normally. How bad, like, you know, how bad could it be? It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Just ignore them. There's there for your scan variety and, you know, and scan variety and whatnot, but they're still cool looking. Anyway. Alright, so that will have to include the end of this episode of Metroid Prime Echoes of Metroid Prime Marathon Series, episode number 36. Hope to see you again in episode 37, where we will take on the Grapple Guardian. One of the best nightmares you can ever experience in your entire life, but not as a kid. But we will definitely get into those reasons later. Hope you're looking forward to that as much as I am, and I'll see you later. This is GBA049, signing out, going offline, and see you next mission.